The Bible isn't just a book of random stories. It's 66 different books that come together to tell one story. An incredible one about God's love for us. And now for an amazing story, inspired by the book of Luke, chapter 10, verses 25 to 37.
The crowds who followed Jesus loved to hear him speak and watch him perform amazing miracles, but the religious leaders didn't trust Jesus. After all, he was challenging the way they followed God. Love your enemies. Pray for those who hurt you. At every chance they got, the leaders and scholars tried to trip Jesus up or show off their own knowledge. One day, a law expert pushed through the crowd, dusting off his fine robes.
Out of my way, please. No shoving. Oh, do not touch me with those fishy hands.
At last, he reached Jesus and demanded,
Teacher, what must I do to receive eternal life?
"What is written in the law? How do you understand it?" The lawyer smiled, smug. He had the answer perfectly memorized.
Love the Lord your God with all your heart and with all your soul. Love him with all your strength and with all your mind. And love your neighbor as you love yourself.
You have answered correctly. Do that, and you will live. The lawyer wanted to show off, so he tried to pin Jesus down with a tricky question.
But who is my neighbor? I mean, are we talking just next door or across the street? Or if I'm really being nice, that guy down the block who plays his zither really loud?
Jesus knew that the law expert was trying to figure out an easy way around God's words, so instead of giving him a direct answer, he told him a story. Now, if he told that story today, it would go a little something like this. A man was taking a trip from Jerusalem to Jericho. We'll call him, Chip.
Country roads, take me home to the place I belong.
Unfortunately, the road wasn't all sunshine and green grass. Craggy rocks lined the path, and behind one of them, a band of robbers. As Chip approached, they leapt out.
Stick 'em up.
The thieves stole Chip's clothes and everything he had.
Please, stop. My mama made that.
Those robbers were so mean they even beat Chip up before they ran off.
Oof.
Chip lay there by the side of the road, too badly hurt to get up on his own.
Country roads.
Soon, though, Chip heard footsteps and a hearty voice.
I really don't see how you can defend a premillennial interpretation of chapter 20.
Within moments, a preacher hiked into view, wearing a meticulous button-down shirt and khakis and arguing into his cell phone.
Help me, please. Help.
But instead of helping, the flustered preacher pretended not to notice the wounded man. He frantically picked up his pace, crossing to the other side of the road.
You're breaking up. Coverage is terrible out here. I better hang up and get working on my sermon notes.
And just like that, the preacher was gone. Chip was growing weaker.
Water. I need a little water.
Soon, he heard footsteps again. Raising his head, Chip could just make out another man approaching, a worship leader wearing skinny jeans and a handlebar mustache.
Great is our God. Sing with me. How great. Help. Please help me.
When the worship leader spotted Chip, he wrinkled his nose and quickly looked the other way.
Oh, this dry air is brutal on my vocal cords. I gotta hydrate better.
Chip was starting to give up hope until he saw another man approaching, this time on a donkey. He was ready to cry for help until he realized that the man approaching was a Samaritan, an enemy of his people.
Oh no.
Chip tried to hide, but he couldn't even crawl. As the Samaritan drew closer, Chip ducked his head.
Oh my, what happened to you?
Before Chip even had a chance to wave him off, the Samaritan hopped off his donkey and started pulling bandages and bottles out of his saddlebags.
I'm so sorry you're hurting like this.
The Samaritan gave Chip water to drink and carefully bandaged all his cuts and bruises.
Do you think you can stand if I help you?
I think so. Now.
The Samaritan helped Chip onto his donkey, and he led the beast along the rocky path to the nearest inn.
Country roads, take me home.
I need your best room.
Once he had Chip settled in a nice, comfy bed, the Samaritan stepped out and found the innkeeper.
Here's some silver. Please take care of this man. And when I come back this way, I'll pay for any extra expenses you might have.
When Jesus finished telling the story, he turned back to the law expert.
Which of the three do you think was a neighbor to the man who was attacked by robbers?
The lawyer stared at the ground for a long moment, but he couldn't escape the truth. At last, he raised his eyes and said,
The one who felt sorry for him.
Go and do as he did.
Stung, the lawyer turned away to go back home. He had been looking for ways to limit the number of people he needed to love, but Jesus' story had made it clear. Everyone matters to God, so everyone is my neighbor and worthy of love.